બરાબર ને?
ઓકે, તો
અને
તો
ઓકે એકચ્યુઅલી સ્વામીજીએ કીધું પણ આપણે ઓલામાં રોટેટ કરવાના છે સ્ક્રીનમાં. We're going to show it.
ઓકે.
So I don't think we need to print anything actually. Maybe center માટે. I'll talk to Swamiji. It may not be worth
હા
printing.
તો
રોટેટમાં થવાનું છે. That's why you kept the screen, ને? She's probably
રાઈટ.
crossed.
હા
અને બધા આપણે કોપી બેગમાં નહીં કરતો કાંઈ. It's a waste of money probably. It's not worth it. Waste of paper. I mean, money doesn't matter. Waste of paper. Because આપણે screen એટલે જ રાખ્યા છે to not have to do these things. અને એમાં રોટેટ થાય રાખશે. અને આપણે એક રાખવો હોય બારકોડ માટે રખાય.
તો હું છે ને ખાલી પેલા 2 રેગ્યુલર પ્રિન્ટ લેતો આવું છું. ઓકે, પેલા મોટા બોર્ડમાં આખા આવી રીતે નથી બનાવતો.
Not necessary.
હા, અને બાકીના જે છે ને આ પેલા
A4 size કે જે હોય આપણી બેગ છે ને is big enough to have A4 size. એટલે
તો એ તો આપણે છે ને પેલા હાફ સાઈઝ ના જે છે તો એ આપણે
હા તો
કરી લઉં.
પરફેક્ટ. તો વ્યાધિત નથી. સાઈઝની વ્યાધિત નથી. યા ઓલા 2 જણા છે જુગલ અને અમિતભાઈ. તારો કાંઈ આવ્યો બીજો એક બે? I mean probably one or two more
કરણની
possible.
સાથે છે ને હમણાં આપણે વાત કરી લેશું. એટલે મેં વિરલભાઈ સાથે વાત કરી.
થઈ ગયું?
હવે કરણની સાથે આપણે વાત કરી લેશું.
હા 2 થઈ ગયા છે. 2 હોય તો I think it should be good.
આજે તમે લેવાના છો?
ના આજે ધીરેનભાઈ લેવાના છે.
ધીરેનભાઈ તો હું છે ને ઓકે તો એક જ મિનિટ. ધીરેનભાઈને પણ હું છે ને જય જીનેન્દ્ર, હું તમને પણ કો હોસ્ટ બનાવી દઉં છું. ઓકે, અને હું રેકોર્ડિંગ છે ને સ્ટાર્ટ કરી દઉં છું. યા લેટ્સ સ્ટાર્ટ ઇટ. ઓકે.
Dhirenbhai, you're muted. Unmute.
Hear me?
Yes. હવે અમને છે ને સંભળાય છે. વેરી વેલ.
Okay, and then I have to share, right?
Yes, you can.
All right. Everything okay? Can everybody hear me?
Yes, very well.
Yeah. So what do we do? Wait, start?
No.
You can start.
Just start?
Yeah, do slideshow. You know slideshows?
Slideshow. Oh.
Top right. All the way top to the right. Ajay upar. All the way top right near your Ajay upar, Sage. A little bit higher.
Let me go here. No, let me go here.
Move the arrow up to the top over the.
I mean zoom. Okay.
Arrow દેખાય છે મને. Move your arrow to the right.
Got you.
I can see arrow. Move your arrow to the right.
Done?
There you go. Brilliant.
All right, so I'm starting. Talking about breathing, right? Story of breathing. Breathing is people have been taking interest in breathing for years and years. There were ancient people who took interest in breathing and they called it prana. And the journey of breathing starts from prana all the way to modern physiology, doctors. So a yogic viewpoint of breathing is all about pranayam, taking breath in different ways. And a medical viewpoint is all about oxygen. So prana is an unseen force, vital force, and ancient rishis used to call breathing prana, and they use the process of breathing for awareness, meditation, and all that. And what that did there was to activate the prana energy. Prana energy is the life force of human being. You need prana to stay alive, according to ancient rishis. And prana was also necessary for healthy body and living. And it also had a spiritual meaning, but we are only interested in the body. So they thought prana was necessary for life and health. Now, doctors don't believe one person saying this is what happens. We need scientific evidence. Like if you saw research on a blood pressure medicine, it works in one area, nobody's going to accept it until somebody else, somewhere else, shows that this blood pressure medicine works. So same thing is happening with prana. There was another civilization in China about the same time. They talked about chi energy. And everything about chi energy is similar to the prana energy. It's all about breathing, fresh air. It is a vital force that goes through the body, keeps you alive and healthy. So you got two ancient civilizations talking about prana energy. Very interesting. But what about modern scientists? A doctor doesn't care about prana. All he cares about is oxygen. That's it. His life, his oxygen starts from the birth of a baby to the death of the baby, human body, birth to death. Prana and chi is not limited to this life, physical body. It is also limited, it also carries over to spiritual body also. But we are only interested in oxygen. So, breathing is all about lungs. Lungs are made up of three different parts, three big parts. The airways, trachea, bronchi, and all these little airways. Then there's a lung, which is a balloon, no difference from a balloon. There's a balloon lung, and then there are muscles. Muscles are a machine, pumps. So airways, balloon, and machine. So what happens? How does air flow? How do we breathe? How does the air go from outside to the inside of the lungs? I'm going to talk about a little bit of physics in a minute. So the main function of the breathing is inhalation. So what happens is diaphragm contracts and it increases the chest volume and air goes in, and exhalation, the diaphragm relaxes, moves upwards and pushes the air out. And how does it do that? This is how it happens. This is a little tube. There's air here and air here. The air is at a pressure 1 and air is here is at pressure 2. If you want the air or any fluid to flow here, there has to be difference between this pressure and this pressure. If the two pressures are same, nothing will flow. Blood, oxygen, water, nothing. When the pressures are different, when there's a difference in the pressure, it will flow. So if you take a bicycle pump and push some air into here, because air is at high pressure, it will flow out. Or when you cleaning your home with a vacuum cleaner, what you do is create negative pressure, and negative pressure will pull the air out with the dirt. But so either you create a positive pressure with the machine to push the air or negative pressure to pull the air. So coming back to this diagram, this muscle and this muscle are the machines that pull and push the air out. So when the diaphragm moves down, it will create negative pressure here. And that negative pressure will pull the air inwards. And when the diaphragm moves up, it will create positive pressure here. And the positive pressure will squeeze, like here, will squeeze the air out of the balloon. And that's how breathing in and out works. Now, something very interesting I must mention while I'm here is that when you take a deep breath in and create negative pressure, these airways will expand, get bigger, because negative pressure will pull the airways also. So the air will flow into the lungs very easily. But when you squeeze the air out by creating positive pressure here, that positive pressure will work on these tubes also. So they will constrict the tubes, make them smaller. So although you're creating positive pressure to push the air out, you're also constricting your airway. So the air will go out slower than when you breathe in. So normally what happens is when you breathe in, you can breathe in 500 cc's of air in 1 second. To breathe out that 500 cc's, you need 2 seconds because you're constricting the airways. And that becomes very important, not for normal breathers, for patients with asthma and bronchitis, that concept is very important. So normally we breathe in 500 cc's of air. So diaphragm goes out and takes 500 cc's of air. So supposing if you're running or doing exercise or if you have some disease problems, you need 1000 cc's or 1200 cc's, then the brain will ask the chest wall to expand. The chest wall will expand and add more air into the balloon. And so now the balloon will breathe in 500, 700, 800 cc's or whatever it needs to do it. So the function of the chest wall is to help diaphragm to breathe in more air. And a normal human being can easily breathe up to 3,000 liters of 3,000 milliliters for every breath. And when you're really running like marathon or working 2 hours, a lot of healthy athletes could easily breathe 2,000 liters. Also, when Swamiji teaches pranayams and yogas and asks you to take a deep breath, when you're taking deep breaths, you're probably taking in 2,000, 3,000 cc's of air. And at that stage, both the stomach and the chest are working. Diaphragm goes down and the chest goes outwards. Here I'm going to tell you something very interesting. Because our lungs are very efficient, we can very easily breathe 500 cc's of air. That's all we need to breathe per breath. So diaphragm moves out, pulls the air, blows up the balloon, and it also blows up the belly button. So the stomach actually moves out when the diaphragm goes down. And when the diaphragm goes up, the stomach will go inwards. So when we are sitting lazily watching TV or something, what happens is when the stomach goes outwards, if you put a hand on the stomach and the chest, quite often the chest will move inwards. And when you breathe out, the stomach will go inwards, diaphragm goes up, and the chest will go outwards. That is lazy breathing or inefficient breathing. Diaphragm is not supposed to push the chest wall in and out at all. Efficient breathing, which yogis practice all the time, a yoga practitioner, what they do is they will make sure when the diaphragm goes down, stomach goes out, the chest wall goes out also with it. So that is very efficient breathing. The chest wall is helping diaphragm to breathe in 500 cc's is extremely efficient, and that helps a lot of yogis take in instead of 3,000, 4,000 cc's of air. And when you breathe out, both the chest wall and the stomach should both go inwards. That's a yogi breathing. But sometimes we do lazy breathing where one goes in, one goes out. So next thing, so lung is full of air and 20% of air is oxygen, and that's what we are interested in. But the lung is not interested in that oxygen at all. It doesn't care. Okay, it fills in, fills out, but it doesn't know what to do with the air, with the oxygen. It has no use for the oxygen. So what happens to this oxygen? When you go to a birthday party or celebration party, you take a helium balloon, and the balloon is filled with very light helium, so it's nice, taut, and because helium is light, it will float away in the air. But after 2 or 3 days, if you notice that helium will start wrinkling, it will start losing, the balloon will start losing that helium and it won't float anymore. So what happened to the helium? There are no tubes there, like the airway. When we breathe in air, air goes through this open tube. But in a balloon, there are no open tubes. So what happens? What happens is helium goes through the wall of the balloon into the atmosphere. It goes from the high concentration inside the balloon to the low concentration outside. This process is called diffusion. So helium moves through the membrane, chest wall, balloon membrane outwards into atmosphere. Same thing happens to oxygen. There's lots of oxygen in the lung. There's a blood vessel which carries blood continuously around the lung. The heart is beating continuously, pumping blood. It creates a blood pressure of 120 or 80, and that pumps the blood throughout the whole body. So this capillary is carrying blood which is flowing continuously. There's lots of oxygen here, not much oxygen here. So just like helium, oxygen will diffuse into the blood. And it does this continuously. And this blood happens to carry carbon dioxide also. So the carbon dioxide will diffuse out into the lungs. So now, just like the lungs, the blood has no use either. Blood doesn't know what to do with oxygen. All it does is flow around the body. So blood actually works like a Uber driver. It carries this oxygen to wherever the body needs it. So if you are walking or running, your muscles need more energy. So muscles need oxygen. So blood will take oxygen from the lungs all the way to the muscles. And on the way, it will pick up some sugar or glucose from the stomach from your last supper, and take it to the muscles. Now, when it goes to the muscles, the same diffusion process will take place. There is no oxygen inside the muscle. There's lots of oxygen in the blood, so oxygen will flow into the muscle. And at the same time, insulin will help sugar go into the muscle. So now the muscle has new oxygen and lots of sugar. This is basically what I was trying to talk about. So our great grandmothers, what did they do? If they wanted to cook, if they wanted to heat water, they would burn some wooden sticks, light them. The burning heat is produced. Put a utensil with water on top of that burning wooden sticks, and wooden sticks are producing heat, and heat will heat up the water. So why do the sticks burn? The sticks are burning because there's oxygen in the atmosphere. If there was no oxygen, sticks wouldn't burn. If you were to put those sticks in nitrogen or vacuum, doesn't matter how hard you try, you will not be able to light the sticks. So for a stick or gas or anything, they need oxygen all the time to burn. And so our great grandmothers used to burn the sticks to produce heat energy and carbon dioxide. So what does the muscle do? Muscle does the same thing. Muscle will burn sugar with the oxygen to produce chemical energy called ATP. So this is how much oxygen flows from the lungs to blood every minute, and how much carbon dioxide flows out of the lungs, from the blood to the lungs. This is not important for you to know, but it helps to understand the disease processes and how the brain works. So this is what happens. The muscles will burn the sugar with oxygen to produce carbon dioxide and water and ATP. So the ancient rishis and the Tai Chi masters use breathing to produce pran energy or chi energy. And that chi energy was necessary. It was both the life force and necessary to keep the body healthy and wealthy. The today's doctor believe that chemical energy produced from the oxygen also is necessary to keep a human being alive. The brain, the muscles, all the tissues will need this energy continuously to work and function. And also, this energy is health energy. It keeps body healthy. So if you were to fracture your bone and go to a doctor, he will put a cast. The cast doesn't heal the bone. The cast doesn't heal the fracture. All the cast does is to rest the joint. That's it. And then the doctor will say, go away for 2 months and the body will, and the fracture will heal. Ancient rishis did the same thing. They would put some sort of a wooden stick or something on that cast to keep it at rest and waited for 2 months and let body heal. And they believe the chi energy or pran energy is what help body heal. We believe that chemical energy produced by burning the oxygen will help bone cells develop new bone cells and they will glue the fracture together and the joint will happen. So the idea of the energy 5,000 years ago and today is very similar. It's just that we use different terminology. It's amazing how similar they are. So the respiration really, coming in conclusion, respiration matters. Why? Because it produces the energy, which is energy of currency, and all the tissues of the body need this energy. Without that, it cannot function. All right, so now we're going to talk about something more interesting, easier, all the disease processes. And I'm going to start with a disease called COPD. And there's a reason I'm going to talk about that, and I'll tell you that in a minute. A COPD is just a progressive lung disease, and it includes many, many diseases, including emphysema and bronchitis. And there are many causes of it. One of them is asbestos breathing, cigarette smoke, air pollution, long-term exposure, and various genetic factors. Now, coming back to the air pollution, there is when we burn glucose and oxygen, we produce carbon dioxide and water. And that carbon dioxide and water we release in the atmosphere. And a green plant, any green plant will take that oxygen, that carbon dioxide and oxygen, and it will take that carbon dioxide and water. I'm losing my chemistry. So a green plant will take water and carbon dioxide and manufacture oxygen and sugar. Sugar in the form of a fruit like apple or banana. So a green plant will make bananas and oxygen, will eat the banana for sugar, will breathe in the oxygen and make carbon dioxide and water which the green plant will use. It's a nice, beautiful eco cycle. But a greedy human being, what does he do? He'll create something called gasoline and automobiles and machinery and engines and factories. So now you burn all this gasoline and produce excessive carbon dioxide and pollution and fill the whole atmosphere of Delhi with carbon dioxide and pollution. And that pollution is what is bad for lung disease or COPD. So the patient with COPD, the best treatment is go to Himalayas and run away from Delhi. And so the symptoms of any lung disease are shortness of breath. Shortness of breath, basically what it means is you are not breathing enough oxygen or you're not kicking out enough carbon dioxide. See, you just saw a slide earlier. Every minute, we need 250 cc's of oxygen to survive and live healthily. Our brain is a chemist who measures that oxygen continuously and carbon dioxide also. So if we don't breathe in 250 cc's of oxygen, it will ask the chest wall to take in extra breath. Instead of 500 cc's, you'll breathe in 1,000 cc's. And that will increase our tidal volume. And also it'll make the diaphragm and the chest wall breathe in and out faster because it wants more oxygen to go through. And that basically is what shortness of breath is, breathing faster and more. And COPD also produces a lot of mucus, and we have to cough because of mucus and a lot of wheezing and all those things. I'm going to go through all that tomorrow again, but I want to talk about one treatment. The easiest treatment is, of course, stop smoking and oxygen and all those things. But I want to talk about this pulmonary rehab. What is pulmonary rehab? When I started, I explained to you, when we take in 500 cc's, we only breathe in 1 second. But when we breathe out, because our high pressure is pushing on the airways, the air flows out slower. So we breathe out for 2 seconds. For COPDers, those airways are very weak and they need to breathe much more, like a liter or 1.5 liters. So they have to create higher pressures in the airways. So this chest wall and this diaphragm will breathe in 1.5 liters of air, but it's creating negative pressure. That's not a problem. The airways will open up. But when you want to breathe out 1.5 liters of air, it will create this high pressure will be even higher, very high pressure. And that will work on these tubes and block them. These tubes will start closing. So here you are trying to push the air outwards by creating high pressure, but the high pressure will also block the tubes, block the passage outwards. So many patients find it very, very difficult to breathe out. If you wanted to water your lawn, you'll take a hose, water pipe, open the tap. When you open the tap, you're really pushing water at high pressure at the tap level, and water will flow right up to the end. So when you reach the end of the hose, and there's a flower bed like 6 feet away, if you wanted to water the flower bed, what would you do? You would half obstruct the water hose. By blocking the water hose, you will push the water further away and it will reach the fire bed. How does that happen? Why does that happen? That happens because what you're doing is by half blocking the water hose, you're creating high pressure inside the water hose. And that high pressure is pushing that water further away to the flower bed. So a respiratory therapist does the same thing. What they do is they teach patients to breathe with the mouth by half closing the lips. So if you do a closed breathe with a closed lip, or we also do it when we blow candles. What we do is we breathe with the mouth, half close the mouth, and the air will flow out faster and quicker than our normal breath. Why does that happen? Again, we are blocking the airway entrance. So behind the entrance, the pressure here in the trachea and alveoli and the bronchus will increase. That high pressure will help you blow the candle or water the flower bed. But here what happens is the high pressure will actually open up these little airways. Your pressure is closing it, but this high pressure opens it up. And by opening up, it makes breathing out easier. And that principle is called pursed lip breathing. And why is that important for us? I mean, that's important for respiratory therapies and COPDs. It's interesting for us because there are many pranayams, many pranayams like Ujjain pranayam, where at the level of the trachea, we practice obstructed breathing. Ujjayi pranayam is actually breathing in, making a sound by closing the half vocal cords. If you did the opposite of that, you will actually increase the pressure here by blocking it, blocking this half airway, increase the pressure, and that pranayam will also help the patient with COPD to breathe out air easily. That's only one example. There are many pranayams which will help a patient with COPD to breathe out air easily by what I call is obstructed breathing pranayams. So that's it. That's the COPD. We still have a few more minutes, right? So I will just start with one more thing. You know how when we are doing Bhamri pranayam, we take a deep breath and then make the sound. Or sometimes somebody just teaches us to take just deep breath to relax. So what we do is use the chest walls and all the muscles and take a deep breath and breathe out. This practice is very useful for patients with pneumonia. What happens in pneumonia is, let me go up to this diagram and show you. Here, this is alveolus, and oxygen from here has to go into the blood vessel. But what happens in pneumonia is this area, half of this area is filled with water, pus, bacteria, viruses, and all kinds of junk. As a result, the oxygen cannot diffuse into the blood vessel easily. Instead of 250 cc's of oxygen going from alveolus to the blood vessel every breath, about 150 will go in. And the brain will check that amount of oxygen that goes in the blood vessel. Then it will tell the chest wall muscle, this is not enough. I need you to help the diaphragm. So it will, the chest wall muscle will help diaphragm to take in a deep breath. And when you take 1 liter, 1.5 liters of breath instead of 500 cc's, then more oxygen will flow into the blood vessel. Now your 250 cc oxygen will flow into the blood vessel. So again, pneumonia has a lot of medical things, causes. But the interesting about pneumonia is that if a yoga teacher was to teach a patient who has lung disease of any kind, deep breathing, slow breathing, noisy breathing, they are training them for therapy of all the lung diseases also. So as I said, pneumonia is just pus, fluid, lungs, and everything filling up the lungs. And this is what happens in pneumonia. And, 3 years ago, we were all talking about COVID. COVID was also a type of pneumonia. And it was so bad that you sometimes needed 2 or 3 liters of tidal volume to get enough oxygen into the blood. Now, a healthy, fit patient, many healthy, fit patients could handle it. All they did was to rest, wait, take deep breaths, and everything was fine. For older patients or obese patients, for difficult patients, it was very, very difficult. So many of these patients were taken to the hospital. You could give them oxygen, fine. But for many patients, breathing out carbon dioxide was a problem. If you can't breathing enough oxygen, there's only 20% of oxygen in the air. You can always increase it up to 100 cc's. But there's nothing you can do to get rid of carbon dioxide. You have to get rid of 200 cc's of carbon dioxide every breath. If you don't, you become acidotic. So that's where a machine ventilator comes in. A machine ventilator will breathe for the patient. Now the patient can rest their diaphragm, rest the chest fold, do nothing, relaxed and wait, and let the machine do all the work for him. And the machines have fancy dials which will give high oxygen and give as much tidal volume as you need, and it will increase or decrease the respiration ratio of breathing in and breathing out and all those things. But the important thing here is that machine doesn't actually cure pneumonia. Machine just gives you time. Your body has to use the energy, either chemical energy or chi energy or prana energy to heal. Body has to heal by itself. There's no magic treatment for COVID. At least for pneumonia, there was bacterial pneumonia, there are some antibiotics. For viruses, the treatment is wait and rest and supportive treatment. And that's why energy, oxygen or energy is so important, because all the living, keeping alive, and all the healthy, healing, everything done by energy. I think it's like almost 35 minutes. I'm going to stop here. It is very difficult, very complicated. I'm going to carry on tomorrow with the rest of it. But if anybody has any questions, you're most welcome. Or if you think of any questions, you can always ask me tomorrow, and I will go through them slowly. There is a lot of difficult physics, a lot of pressure and volumes and numbers, but I really wanted to emphasize the importance of energy, rest, and weight. And that is actually the main treatment of a lot of acute diseases. Thank you. So what happens now?
Dhiren bhai, you are muted. Dhiren bhai, you are muted. I have a question. Can you hear me? You are muted. You're on mute. There. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So about COPD, you mentioned that if you can prolong the intake of breath, like prolong or lengthen the inhaling process, that will help. with like Ujjayi pranayam, that's what it does, right? We are,
It's obstructed breathing. You know, Ujjain, you block.
yeah. So you're basically you're slowing down the intake of
Yes,
air. So it's going in slowly into the lungs.
you're absolutely
Not
right.
filling in immediately, like
Yes, yes, you're right. So although if without Ujjain, without the blockage, actually, because the airways are closed, you cannot breathe out at all. When you block it, you breathe more, but it's still less. So now what happens is instead of breathing out for 2 seconds, you breathe out, you take 4 seconds to breathe out.
but
Breathe
you're
in 1 second,
yeah,
breathe out for 4 seconds.
okay,
But during those 4 seconds, the balloon lung is still expanded, right?
right.
So the oxygen is still flowing into the blood. So that's okay.
Yeah. So basically you are giving more time to the alveoli or the nerves. Sorry, not the nerves, the veins, blood vessels to absorb oxygen because you are breathing in slowly. You're prolonging that intake.
As as long as these lungs are inflated with oxygen, blood will keep taking it all the time.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So although your breathing out is slower, the lungs are still inflated, right?
Right.
So it is still doing the work it's supposed to do.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like it's an interesting concept because in one
It's
hand
very
you're
interesting.
pushing it and then you're
Yeah,
blocking it.
it's extremely
And respiratory therapy is used the
yeah.
process of
Now
pursed
I
lips.
understand the
But there are
importance.
many pranayams that block you at the throat and they teach you, you can practice.
Yep.
When you have early disease, you can start practicing with pranayam.
Yeah.
And when you need it, it becomes automatic.
Yeah, it makes sense. Perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, I have a quick funny question. You know, when you cough, they may be cough may be beneficial sometimes, right? I mean, they cough obviously for mucus, but
Okay. Yeah. Cough is very beneficial. You know, like when you washing your dishes, right? Open the tap and water flows freely. After washing some chunky food stuff, it gets stuck in the pipes, right? And the water flow slows down. You cannot empty the sink as fast. Then you press the little button, garbage
right,
disposable. Everything cleans up and it starts flowing again.
right,
Cough works exactly in the same way as the garbage disposal. When you have COPD, you produce a lot of mucus, and mucus will block the airways, just like garbage in the pipe. And so your breathing slows down, both in and out. And then you coughing is basically pushing air out at a high velocity. And that air, when it goes out, it will push the sputum or mucus out of the lungs and clean it up. And then you start breathing much better. So coughing is a nuisance. It helps. It's part of the treatment. It helps. It's part of the treatment of nature, not doctors. Nature has created this treatment by itself so that you can heal by yourself. A lot of things our body has our own mechanism to heal. Doctors just help a little bit to buy time. There are chronic diseases where you need blood pressure medicine and cholesterol medicine, but many short-term medicine, you just buy time and the body will take care of itself. And again, to cough, you create this high pressure velocity blowout. Everything needs energy. Same energy you get from oxygen.
So Dhiren by on similar terms, laughing exercise, it does the same thing, right? A laughing exercise will force because it's related to breathing.
Yes, I am talking. There are many pranayams, right? Laughing is one, but there are many asanas like neck. I mean, I cannot go through. I'm not professional in it, but snake pose and all those asanas increase your vital capacity also. So instead of breathing three, some people can breathe 4 or 5 liters. I think is a Samnijis can talk more about it. I can't. But all the pranayams, all the asanas, they all help. It's just that you cannot start at age 70. You got to start at age 30, 40, practice all these things, develop slowly, learn, develop slowly, and then when actually, in Samnijis did not, in Rajasthan, Samnijis did not get, I'm sure they got COVID, but it wasn't that big a problem for them because they probably were physically healthy because of all these asanas and pranayams they do. They could fight. They all had COVID, mild symptoms, but they could easily fight it without resorting to high oxygen or doctors or anything else. So all these things you start practicing throughout your age, and it's too late for me now, but there you go. Good.
Thank you for the wonderful session. I mean, you covered it beautifully with physics, with chemistry, and the entire thing. So the correct way of breathing is through abdomen, right? The abdomen should
Okay,
expand.
so the natural normal breathing is your diaphragm pushing downwards.
Mm-hmm.
When your diaphragm pushes downward, it will push the abdomen outwards.
Yeah,
You're not breathing with tummy, you're breathing with the
with
diaphragm.
diaphragm.
The
Okay.
diaphragm will push the tummy outwards, and the balloon will get filled with oxygen.
So when you concentrate during all these meditation, where should you concentrate ideally?
Oh, concentrate for what?
For
Is for
breathing, deep breathing.
mindfulness?
For deep breathing.
Okay, the breathing is different, mindfulness is different. So which one are you talking about?
Breathing, deep breathing.
Okay, if you want to breathe, if you are sitting lazily and watching TV and test yourself, when the stomach goes out, you'll find quite often the chest will go inwards. And when stomach goes in, you'll find chest goes outwards. That
Yeah.
is long, inefficient breathing.
Mm-hmm.
So ideal breathing, what yogis do, Samnijis do, is you have to practice this. I think we have to ask Samnijis how they do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because even I'm talking to you, but I know I do that. I practiced
Yeah,
this for last
yeah.
week as I was preparing the talk. Many times I was doing the wrong breathing.
Right. I've
So
been struggling with wrong breathing a lot, and when I try to concentrate, yeah.
We have to really ask somebody how a yogi practices. So when they breathe out when they breathe in with diaphragm going out, I think they consciously use the chest hole. If it's not necessary, but they use the chest hole to come out or breathe out also. So when the diaphragm goes in, they will push the chest hole outwards also. So both the stomach and the chest will move outward. I think they practice like that. And when they breathe, when the diaphragm goes up, stomach goes in, they will deliberately push the chest wall inwards. There is no need, but they'll do it. And I guess after a while, if you keep practicing, you'll do
Yeah.
the right breathing. Both of them will go in and out.
Yeah. So
It's
sometimes
very
when I try to concentrate, so it becomes I become tired, like
Yes, yes,
doing
yes,
it.
yes. So this is where somebody just come in and the practice of yoga comes in. I mean, this is theory I'm talking about. And I really would want to sit down with them and ask them what do they do, because they do this. They talk about this all the time and they do it
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
time, and they naturally do it. They showed me a couple of times. They just automatically do it. I think it's some sort of practice
Mm-hmm.
exercise, and that's how they do it.
Got it. Got it.
All right.
One last
So
thing, Darren, we just
if you have
learned.
any questions, ask me tomorrow and we can go through them again.
Yeah, somebody's coming on in a minute. One of the question I had there, which I just came across recently, is that when you're on a ventilator at the end of life, you're on a ventilator, then day by day your muscle, your diaphragm strength decays quite rapidly. It's just good for people to remember that.
If you don't use muscles, they will die. Yeah.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
I mean, every gain has a negative problem, right? So if you put a patient on a ventilator for 5 days, 7 days, 10 days, you're fine. But after 2, 3 weeks, you'll find that you will not be able to take them off the ventilator because the muscles the chest wall and diaphragm are too weak. So if they just wanted normal breathing, they can do it. But if they have some disease and then you need to breathe 1,000 cc's or something, after a couple of weeks, it becomes very difficult for them. And then all the social problems have come up that he's not getting better, muscles are dying, should he be alive, should he not be alive? And all the complicated questions start arising. Putting a patient on a machine, on a ventilator, is very complicated procedure because for 1 or 2 days it's perfect. After a month is a nightmare. So what are you saying? Some images are coming?
Yeah, somebody's is on. Yeah, we had she's on. Chaitanya Pradesh is on.
Oh, she is
Yes,
gonna
yes.
take over?
Okay. No, you can continue with
I'm
whatever
done.
you are.
Samneji, I'm done and finished. We discussed some things.
Okay.
And actually the last thing we discussed was your simple yogic breathing where, when you inhale, the diaphragm goes down, stomach goes out, and chest wall goes out.
Mhm.
It should. And we were talking that we find it very difficult. We usually, more often than not, we do lazy, inefficient breathing where stomach is going out and chest wall is going in. So what do you guys do? Do you practice this or what do you do?
You are talking to me or you are asking me? Whom you are
Yeah, because
asking?
you guys do it all the time, right? You do the yogic breathing. You don't do our lazy breathing.
Yes. Yeah. So we practice first of in the beginning when we come and first time we listen, then our condition was the same as the other people have. But when we learn that this is the right way to take the breathing, scientific breathing, that we have to use the diaphragm, we have to use the lungs and also ribs and collarbones. So we practice after that, and due to practice, we get it. So anybody can get, it is not difficult.
So you need a lot of practice, eh?
It is not required a lot of practice. Just if first few days you have to just learn to breathe out with
Yeah.
some speed. Breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. Just okay. Automatically you will get that when you breathe in, your diaphragm will goes down. Your lungs will be filled with full air, and automatically the chest will also expand and the stomach will also expand. Okay. So breathing out is the right way to learn the scientific breathing with some speed. So that is pranayama. You have to practice some pranayama. It is okay? Dr. Dhirendra, you are muted, so I am not hearing you.
Yeah. Thank you, Samneji. We get it. We understand it. I talked about it, but I myself, I was
Yeah.
practicing last week as I was talking about it.
Yes.
When I'm
you-
lazily sitting watching TV, I do wrong breathing.
Kapalbhati.
Kapalbhati, yeah, Kapalbhati. You have to do the right breathing. You're right. So Kapalbhati is a good practice. Okay.
Yes, it is a good
Yes.
practice.
Kapalbhati.
Automatically, your stomach will start going in. Then automatically, when you will breathe in, then it will come out.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yes. So, any other question? Dr. Dharendra has taken all the questions.
Yeah, only sometimes sometimes it becomes tiring when we push too much attention on the entire breathing, like chest, diaphragm, stomach, chest expanding when you breathe in and contracting when you breathe out.
Just we have to learn that if we are taking breath in a wrong way, then how we can correct. But all the times you need not to pay attention to that. If it is
Okay.
correct, if you are taking correctly, then you did not to pay attention to that. It is because the people who come for meditation, they are mostly beginners sometimes, or they are starting meditation. They are not so well versed or deep into it. So we have to guide at every step, and we have to remind them again and again that your stomach should expand when you are breathing in. So their mind should be completely engaged in the process in the meditation. So that is the purpose. But it is if you are well versed, it is easy for you, and it is in your practice. You need not to pay attention to that. Just you have to. Your mind should concentrate, and
Mhm.
how you can go deeper and deeper and deeper in your meditation.
Okay.
If you just say and sit without saying anything, then they will lose the meditation. Their mind will start wandering here and there. So we are giving some or other instructions after certain interval, so that their mind should be completely engaged in the practice. And they should also know the steps, how to breathe, what I have to see, where I have to see, what is to be seen. So they should be guided, otherwise they will be lost in meditation. Any other query? Shachi is here, Shivani is not here, and Sheetal is here. Okay, yeah. So I'm sorry that I could not attend the lecture of Dr. Dhirendra, since some Nijis have come from Houston and New Jersey. So I was keeping the eye on the watch, but somehow I missed it on time. So now, should I give some meditation session, or?
No, Sunny, you're busy, so we can probably just leave it till tomorrow. I think you got some just coming, so we'll be okay.
Okay. It is not business.
Okay.
We talk, and we
Then we can do
learn
it.
just.
Then we would like to do it. It's always useful. Some of you.
We have nothing to talk much. Just we learn from each other. Okay, so we were practicing contemplation, and we have seen that contemplations are especially to replace the wrong habits, wrong what we say tendencies or misconceptions. But yes, if we want to inculcate or develop some new tendencies, new habits, and new conceptions, then or what we say doctrines in our we want to go ingrain those things into us, then it is necessary that we should repeat some affirmation. We have to fix some statement or slogan, or we can say affirmation, which we want to implement in our life, and that affirmation should go into subconscious mind. And for going subconscious mind, we have to repeat the same affirmation again and again, at least minimum 9 times at orally and 9 times at mentally. Okay, so this is what we are practicing right now. So we have practiced some of the affirmations. Mostly, I have said the main purpose of all spiritual practices is to remove our negative emotions or aggressive emotions, which are recognized as kasha, or you can say aggressive emotions. And they are anger, ego, deceit, and greed. Okay, so we have practiced almost three contemplations, which are especially to win the tendency of anger, deceit. Now we are coming to the last contemplation, which is contemplation of contentment. So that is to get victory over the emotion of greed. So greed is the main cause of all sins, all crimes, all immoral acts. So it is the biggest cause of all the crimes and all the immoralities and all the negativities. So how we can win this greed and the tendency of greed? So there is contemplation of contentment. So you can sit in comfortable posture, keeping backbone, neck, and head in straight line, body in relaxed state. There should not be any kind of a stiffness or yes. Keep both the hands in the posture of knowledge in which you are touching the tip of your thumb with the tip of your index finger, keeping all other three fingers straight. Keep both the hands on the knees. And now close the eyes softly. With 5 sounds, we will start our meditation or contemplation. Take long and deep breath. Oh. Um, relax. Relax your entire body, mind, and vocal cord. Make a resolution. I am practicing Praksha meditation for the purification of my psyche. I am practicing Praksha meditation for the purification of my psyche. The first step of meditation is relaxation kayotsar, which is self-awareness, relaxation with self-awareness. Concentrate your mind on the big toe of your right foot. See the toe from within. Whatever sensations, functions are happening in the toe, try to see each of the functions, vibrations. Give auto suggestion to be relaxed. Relaxed. Relax. Feel complete relaxation in the toe. Now concentrate on each and every part of your body up to the head. See them with full awareness. Give suggestion to be relaxed. Relax. Relax. Each and every part is slowly and gradually getting relaxed. Remaining aware of the total relaxation of the entire body, concentrate your consciousness on the entire region of lungs from neck to heart. See the entire region of lungs. Concentrating on this area, repeat 9 times the following words aloud. My positive attitude of contentment is becoming stronger. I am becoming free from greed. Repeat this affirmation 9 times orally and 9 times mentally. My positive attitude of contentment is becoming stronger. I am becoming free from greed. My positive attitude of contentment is becoming stronger. I am becoming free from greed. Repeat this affirmation 9 times orally, 9 times mentally. Now visualize that the above words are written on your chest region in bright green color. In bright green color. My positive attitude of contentment is becoming stronger. I am becoming free from greed. This line you have to read on your chest region in bright green color. Repeat this, read this affirmation at least 5 times, slowly and gradually. each and every letter should be in your attention. My positive attitude of contentment is becoming stronger. I am becoming free from fear. Now, with your mind's eye, visualize everything around you, including the air itself, colored bright green. See, everywhere there is green color. Bright green color spreading everywhere, inside and outside, in your whole environment. Take a deep breath and slowly inhale. Visualize that you are breathing long streams of green air. Green air is entering into you. Continue this breathing exercise for a few seconds. Visualize green color is entering with your breath. Now focus your attention on Ananda Kendra, center of bliss, located near the heart, and visualize bright green light radiating from this center. See the whole region of heart. And see the green light emitting from this region, from this center. Visualizing the bright green radiations. Repeat to yourself mentally that I realize that my positive attitude of contentment has become stronger and I have become free from greed. I realize that my positive attitude of contentment has become stronger and I have become free from greed. Now visualize yourself full of contentment. You have no desire, no cravings, no lust, no attachment, no demand, no expectation. You are content, you in yourself, have full contentment. You are satisfied with whatever you have. See yourself full of contentment. You are the most contentment person, satisfied person of the world. See yourself as full of contentment, no desire, no cravings. You are completely happy with what you have. Visualize yourself as the most satisfied, accomplished man. Now, with 2 long breaths, we will come out of our meditation with 2 Om sounds. We will conclude meditation. Take long and deep breath and make the sound. Om. Now rub both the hands together. Keep them on the eyes and open the eyes gently. So all are satisfied. Those who are young, they have to make many things in their life, but it doesn't mean that you should not do any effort, what you need or what is required. But just you should not be in anxiety or worried, or you should not be greedy. Just that is the main purpose of giving this contemplation. It doesn't mean that whatever you have, you should not make any more effort for getting or anything. So the basic requirements or whatever is required, we have to manage. So that is not the main problem. So any other, how was the contemplations? All the 4 contemplations, they are the core teachings of spirituality, core teachings. So there is one book which is known as The Mirror of the Self. Might be I have posted on Google Classroom. Please see that to understand the spirituality in true sense. And for that, it is given that you have to understand all these 4 kashayas, 4 aggressive emotions. They are the root cause of our life. Okay, all the social, individual, and all other problems, they are mainly caused by these aggressive emotions. Okay, so if spirituality means to understand these 4 kashayas and remove them, eliminate them, conquer them. So it is given the mirror of the self. If it is not posted, I will post it, but I might be, it is already there, posted by me in the Google Classroom as recommended books. Okay, under the recommended books, I have provided the full list of the Praksha meditation literature, which when you will complete the course, you can start reading one by one so that you can get the depth of the Praksha meditation. Okay, all the techniques, they are not just a simple techniques, but they have very high purpose behind.
Swamiji, this we consider samvar? Samvar?
Yes. See, this is the pure meditation. Yeah, it causes somewhere also, because when you focus on them, they get eliminated, and as soon as the kashayas eliminated, then there is automatically somewhat stop of new karmic bondage. Okay. When you are in meditation, you are actually doing samvara and nirjara together.
Yes, Swamiji.
Yeah, because you are stopping your action, all types of actions, mental, physical, verbal. So you are not attracting new karmic particles from the environment by stopping your actions. And you are working on your kashayas, impurities, inner impurities. So you are doing nirjara. And nirjara gets speedite when you are having somewhat parallel. So
So this
nirjara
means
means cleansing process of the purification of the self. That is nirjara, purification of the self. Yeah.
when you're doing this, should you think of events in the day where you've had those kashai?
What you want to know? What to say?
Well, when you're
Actually,
doing this meditation, I mean, doing this, if images of you having done kashai during the daytime, maybe, would you think about that?
yeah. You can think, because you have to repent for that or regret for that. So that is the part of nirjara. Okay, prashchitta.
Hmm.
Okay, so it is a kind of it is the part of prashchit when you regret that I have done, I have become angry with this or that person. I should not be. That was wrong on my part, not on the other part. Okay. If you are
Right.
thinking that why Narendra ji has become angry upon me, then you are getting new karmic bondage. You should think on your part that what you have done or reacted, that was not right.
Because he never gets angry with me. I don't know. He never gets angry with me. He's such a good, but a good example.
Yeah, he is a very calm and cool person. He
Yes.
never gets angry with anybody. But just I'm
Sure,
giving
no,
the
I'm just saying.
example to make you clear the point. Yes. Any other question? Any other thing?
Vandami,
Anything.
when
So
we
you,
work,
yes, you please.
sorry,
Go on.
one quick question. So, Krodh, Man, Maya, Lobh, the four kashais, do we work on all of them simultaneously, or we focus like which one is easier to go first?
Anger is easy.
Anger is easy to go first.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Kshama. बस माफ कर दो बस. If somebody is doing, there are there is one problem with some person. So she told that how long we can forgive others when they are cheating with us or deceiving or doing or misbehavior, and they don't stop. So how long we have to forgive? So this is very critical question. Yes, but at the because you are living a household life, be in needs as a householder, so you cannot ignore that part sometimes. Okay, if somebody is cheating or misbehaving with you and insulting or doing something wrong with you, so you cannot ignore for a very longer period. But yes, it is all, especially those who want to go into deep spirituality, and the goal is only the spirituality. Clear? So that's why to that extreme we can talk about, but not for all in all the cases. Okay, householders have some limitations; they cannot forgive that much. But if possible, you can. If possible, at your part, you can. If it is not harming, or you are not losing because of and that, then you can also practice the same thing. Clear? Unnecessary, why we should involve in such things. But if it is necessary, required, you are bound to take some legal step, some right step. It may be against someone, but yes, but because you are householder, it is your right sometimes to fight against the wrong people. But that is the social part, okay? That is not the spirituality, that is not the religion. So social life, sometimes social and spiritual. So the householder have to make some balance between these two aspects of their life. They cannot ignore that part also. But since we are, we have nothing to do with the world. We have no social obligations, no pressure, no duty, no responsibility. So we can tolerate. If our life is taken by someone, then also we did not to go against them. But you cannot think like this. You have responsibility of your family, society, community, nation. So you can avoid unnecessary things. First, you have to think about that. Why, how far we can be free from all these unnecessary involvements, and how much we can limit the necessary things. Okay, which are the necessities, but how far we can limit. So minimalism or minimization. That's why Bhagwan Mahavir has given small vows to the householders that they can minimize. They cannot give up everything and anything. So thank you very much for joining the, and I have taken the exams. Just I want to say that all have tried their best, but still you have to see the proper way which is given in the text. Okay, you can even language you can brush it, but that is the proper steps must be completely followed. Okay, when we start giving sessions to other people, then there should be uniformity in our instructions, whether Shachi is giving session, or whether Sheetal is giving, or Naina is giving, or Rakesh Bhai is giving, or Narendra Bhai is giving, but all must have same kind of instructions. And everybody starts giving their own instructions or interpretations, then things will be diluted. Okay, so yeah. Thank you very much.
Vandaminam Swamiji.
Thank you.
Vandaminam.
Sami Samniji.
Thank you.